So today we're going to finish our look into this LMATS paper by looking at the MRSM paper. Okay, the MRSM paper. Now, this paper is when I look at it, it is definitely much easier than the paper one that we discussed the other day. And some of the questions are pretty standard lah. Okay, of course, the normal questions that we answer are quite standard. Okay, but of course, we're going to look at the entire paper, and as always, I will give you the answers and also some hints on how to answer. And then, of course, it is best if you try it out on your own and see whether you can reach the answer lah. Okay, so let's begin. Paper 2 for MRSM. So the first question is, given the function fx equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 2, question is by using the method of completing the square. Okay, so the method of completing the square is very straightforward. As you can see, it is only a 2-mark question. Okay, so it's a very straightforward question. I don't think there's really much to think about here, except that just remember lah, okay, when you start the first step, okay, you have this fx equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 2, minus 4x plus 2. Remember, before you do any completing the square, okay, before you do any completing the square, you have to factorize out the number in front of x squared. And then when you notice that the number is negative 4, right? So bila kamu factorize out, make sure that it's x squared, change the symbols now, plus 4x minus 2. And then you go on and so forth to get the completing the square. Okay, saya hanya mau mengingatkan perkara inilah because a lot of people they remember that, oh, completing the square means must have half of the x, you know, this one also half of negative 4. Okay, but you forget that this one, okay, has to be factorized out. Sorry, I made a mistake. It shouldn't be 4. Okay, sorry, this should be 1. Because you take out negative 4, right, you're left with 1, and then this one should be half. Okay, it should be half. My mistake. Okay, so then after that, when you factorize out, this is the one that you're actually completing the square. Okay, remember that completing the square syaratnya mesti a sama dengan 1. Okay, then after you're done completing the square, then you bring the negative 4 back in, and you should get this answer. Negative 4x plus half is 3. Okay, and then the next one will be sketch the graph. Okay, remember when you sketch the graph, okay, you need to show at least 3 points. Okay, you need to show at least 3 points. So the first point is kind of given for you lah, okay, which is this point, half and 3. So it will be negative half and 3, and it is a maximum point because the graph is a is negative number, so it's a maximum graph. Okay, so you're gonna get this shape. Now again, you need to show at least 3 points now. So one alternative you can do is you can EQN this. Okay, you can EQN this, or you can factorize it. Actually, you can't factorize lah. Okay, when you EQN, then you will get this number and this number. Okay, which are the two x-intercepts lah. Okay, so you have 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. You can sketch the graph. You basically know the shape of the graph already because it is, you know, it is an N-shaped graph because of this number of negative 4 over here lah. Tapi kamu mesti tunjukkan saya 3 point. Okay. Now another alternative is to show me the y-intercept. So in this case, this is the y-intercept lah. Okay, how do I get the y-intercept? I substitute x equals to 0 in here. Okay, I substitute x equals to 0 in there. I'll get y equals to negative 2. So you have one coordinate over here, negative 2. Sorry, 2, 0. Sorry, 2, not negative 2. Okay, you get 2, 0. And then all you have to do is just go this way again and then substitute y equals to 2. Okay, and find the x coordinate for here. Okay, so sorry, okay, yeah, so it's possible. Okay, you substitute y equals to 2. So 2 equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 2. You want to find the value of x, right? So move the 2 across, you get 0 equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x. Factorize ini, okay, 0. You will get, this will be negative 4x. I don't know why I'm hesitating. Okay, then you will get x minus 1. Oh, sorry, x plus 1. Okay, x plus 1. So you get x equals to 0 and x equals to negative 1, which is the one that we want lah. Because x equals to 0 is sini sudah. So this would be 1 and 2, this coordinate. So you can do either one now. Okay, actually the easiest one is to equivalent the original equation, because that will instantaneously give you 2 points. Well, you know, 2 points over here lah. But the idea is this, when you sketch the graph, okay, it is usually recommended to show at least 3 points. One is the maximum point or the minimum point, depending on the graph. And then, of course, another 2 points. And the easiest way to get the other 2 points is to eqn and then kasi equals to 0, and you get the x value lah. Okay. The method that I just showed you just now is an alternative lah. You can do that if you want. It's a little bit longer lah. And I think for just 2 marks may not be worth it lah. But you definitely want to show this one. Okay, question C. Given point RS lies on the graph of this one such that S equals to 0. So what it is telling you, okay, is that this coordinate is more than 0. That means your fx is more than 0. Okay, the y coordinate lah. Now, if the vertical distance of point P from x-axis is 0.44 units, what is vertical distance? Okay, of point P from the x-axis. Okay, so the vertical distance is upwards lah. Okay, is 0.44 units. Find the horizontal distance. Okay, so what it is telling you is that this is the y coordinate. Okay, find the horizontal distance of point P, which is the x coordinate lah. Okay, find the x coordinate. So that's what this question is telling you. Y is 0.44, find x. But they put it in such a complicated way to test your concept lah. Okay, vertical distance is y coordinate. Horizontal distance is x coordinate. Okay, so essentially this is telling you that y is 0.44, find x. So 0.44 equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 2. You can of course you can solve this lah. 0 equals to negative 4x squared minus 4x plus 2 minus 0.44. Okay, and then kamu buat. Okay, and of course because it involves a quadratic equation, you definitely have to either factorize or use EQN lah. Okay, but what you will get, what you will get is that you will get 2x values. You're going to get x equals to negative 1.3 and x equals to 0.3. So you want the horizontal distance from the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry is here. Okay, which the coordinate is negative 0.5 and 3. Okay, so think about this. The x coordinate, wow, it's so complicated. Sorry. Okay, let me draw this lah. So the maximum point is negative 0.5 and 3. Okay, the two x coordinates we have just now are negative 1.3 and 0.3. Okay, so negative 1.3 maybe somewhere here lah. Okay, so x is negative 1.3 and the other one is x is 0.3. Because the y is the same, 0.44. This one, the y is also 0.44. The question is find the horizontal distance from the axis of symmetry. Okay, so which means that you want to find this distance. So that's why the answer is 0.8, and also the distance from here to here is also 0.8 lah. Negative 0.5 minus 0.3. Oh, sorry, 0.3 minus negative 0.5. And likewise, the same thing. The distance is 0.8. Okay, from the axis of symmetry. Okay, because the y just now, if you notice, the vertical distance of P from the x-axis, okay, which is trying to tell you that if this is the x-axis, this y here is 0.44. Okay, so sorry, dia bukan minta kamu cari koordinat, dia suruh kamu cari the distance from the midpoint. Okay, yeah, I know. And this is only question number 1, you know, it's like, why do people want to answer this question? Yeah, anyway, it's an interesting question lah. It's interesting because the way they worded it is so putar belit lah. Okay, so they're not asking you for the coordinate, they're actually asking you for the horizontal distance. And it's only 2 marks, you know, which makes people even more angry lah. You know, you think so hard and you work so much, and it's only 2 marks. Bagus lagi kamu jawab A dan B. Okay, it's much easier lah. All right, let's go to question number 2. Diagram 1.1 shows a square KLMN and the rectangle PQRS. Okay, you're given that the sum of the perimeter for both, okay, the sum, okay, now, of course, you see the answer here is X, Y, Z. You kind of know that, you know, it's going to be a system of equations question lah, yang melibatkan 3 equation. Because you have 3 unknowns, so you need to form 3 equations. Okay, so the sum of the perimeters is the first one. Okay, the length of the rectangle PQRS is 4 centimeter more than the length of the square of KLMN. This is the second one. And the third one is the ratio of the width, okay, of the rectangle PQRS to the width of the square. Some people have got nothing better to do than to give all these weird questions. Okay, let's start the easiest one first. Sum of the perimeter. Okay, perimeter ini adalah 4x, perimeter ini adalah 2y plus 2z. Okay, so you know that from the first sentence, okay, 4x plus 2y plus 2z equals to 68. First equation lah. Ini boleh lah makan. Okay, then the second one is length of the rectangle PQRS. Length is this one, panjang. Okay, so panjang is y, is more than 4 centimeters more than the length of the square of KLMN, which is x lah. So it's trying to say that y minus x equals to 4. Sebab siapa yang lebih panjang? Y. So y is more than x by 4 cm. Okay, so y tolak x sama dengan 4. Y tolak x sama dengan 4 lah. Okay, which is the second equation. Okay, the third one is the ratio of the width. Okay, the ratio of the width PQRS Z to the width of the square. Okay, so the third one is Z over X. Ratio, okay, is per lah. So Z over X equals to 3 over 4. Okay, which will give you, if you cross multiply, you get 4x equals to 3z, which is your third equation. Okay, so do 1, 2, 3, solve the 3 equations, and you should get the answer x equals to 8, y equals to 12, and z equals to 6. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. It is interesting because we rarely see ratio questions when we want to form this one. But just remember, ratio is just bahagi saja. Okay, for example, m nisbah m kepada n makan is also the same as m over n. Same meaning. Okay, when you talk about ratio. So don't be afraid. Apa ini? Apa operasi dot dot ini? It's not operasi lah. Okay, it's just divide. Oper. Okay. All right. Question number 3. Diagram 2 shows a semicircular shape of a mini theme park with center O, okay, and a radius of 16 meters. Okay, let's set. So radius 16, here 16. Let's mark all the 16s so that we don't lose sight. Okay, remember the entire radius is 16 meters. Okay, now SOR, which is the blue color, okay, is a ball pool section. The length of the court is 12 meters. So this one, okay, is 12 meters. Okay. Now sector POQ, which is this sector, okay, is a children's playground. The ratio of the arc length PQ to QR, okay, is 3 and 2. Okay, the ratio is 3 and 2. Okay, so first question is calculate the value of theta in radians lah. Okay, and it's just 1 mark only. You can actually calculate this by using cos rule. Okay, because you already have 16, 16, and 12. So you use cos rule. Okay, it's a bit ridiculous because it's only 1 mark now. Okay, you use cos rule. Okay, to find the angle and then change it over to radians. Okay, you should get 0.7688 or 0.7689 lah. Okay, one way is cos rule lah. I think one very important thing that when you see this question, you should not assume that this is 90 degrees. Yeah, don't assume it is 90 degrees. It's a very dangerous assumption. You know why? Because it looks like 90 degrees, but the question doesn't say 90 degrees. So if the question doesn't state that it's 90 degrees, you cannot simply make your own assumption. Just based on my wonderful observation, it's 90 degrees. No, you cannot. Okay, follow what the question says. Question doesn't say anything about this one, then you know that, oh, okay, saya mesti berhati-hati lah. Okay, now the yellow colored fence area is a waiting bay. Yellow color, okay, that part. Okay, for the parents while their children are playing in the ball pool. So calculate the length of the fences in meters for the area. Okay, so now that you know how much is this angle, you can find this one. The fence definitely is this and this lah. And the chord is already 12. So all you have to do is just count this. Okay, by using r theta. You already have theta from question number 1. Okay, then you substitute. Sorry, you substitute, and then after that you add them together and you get about 24.3 meters. Okay, this is pretty straightforward lah. Okay, kasih tambah 2 saja. And then of course, lastly, calculate the area in meters for the children's playground. This is the longest one of them all lah. Okay, now the area of the children's playground is this one lah, this green color section. Okay, so of course area we know is 1/2 r squared theta. Okay, and we have the r already, totally not a problem. Our problem now is theta. Okay, so from question number A, we know that this angle is 0.7689 radians. So we can find the remainder of this angle. Okay, yang baki ini kita boleh cari lah. Okay, because remember that 180 degrees semicircle lah, okay, is 3.142 astaga, 3.142 radian. 180 degrees is 3.142 radian or pi radian. So this whole angle is 3.142 minus 0.7689. Okay, and then how do you get this angle? Kita guna nisbah lah. Okay, kalau 5 bahagian is, entahlah apa ini, 3.142 minus 0.7689. Okay, 2.3731. Okay, if 5 parts, okay, is 2.3731. How much is 3 parts? Okay, ini kamu boleh kira sendirilah. Then once you get the 3 parts, then you have the angles sudah. And then you can calculate the area, which is about this value, 182.23. Sehinggalah 182.27. Anything within this range, according to the marking scheme, is safe. Okay. So I wouldn't say this is a very difficult circular measure question. Cuma saya agak hairan lah yang question A kan, yang paling panjang sebenarnya dia punya jalan kerja, tapi itu satu markas saja. Which is like, okay, like it's a little bit strange lah. Okay, I find it a little bit strange. Okay, that they're only allocating 1 mark. Okay, maybe because kemahiran yang mau diuji bukanlah course rule. It's still very strange. You work so hard just to get 1 mark. Okay. All right, question number 4. Prove that cos squared x over sine x plus sine x equals to 2 cos x cosecant x. Don't these people have anything better to do? Okay, of course, we start on the left side now. I think the left side is easier to do. So cos squared x over sine x plus sine x. Okay, we want to prove that it is 2 cos x and then cosecant x. So, obviously the first thing that you want to do is kasi, everything per sine x lah. So you get cos squared x plus sine squared x. Okay. But the problem is you don't want to change the cos squared x plus sine squared x to 1. Because 1 over sine x is just secant x, but that's not what we want to prove. We want to somehow masukkan the 2 cos x cosecant 2x in here. Okay. 2 cos x cosecant 2x in here. So the way to do this is you multiply both by 2 cos x over 2 cos x. Okay, because what happens then, okay, is that this is 1. Okay, di atas sini adalah 1. So 1 times 2 cos x will be 2 cos x over 2 sin x cos x. Okay, and 2 sin x cos x is actually equals to sin 2x. And sin 2x is 1 over sin 2x is cosecant 2x. Okay. Now, this is a very, very strange way of proving something lah. Sorry lah, I wouldn't say it's strange lah, but it's quite rare yang kita jumpa keadaan di mana we have to add in something extra in order to prove what we want. Okay, kalau kita setakat menggunakan formula atau identity saja kan boleh tau. But I was thinking about this question, then like, there's really no other way. We have to introduce this something new, which is something that is dia tidak selalu kena tanya. Okay, kalau soalan pembuktian, okay, it is all not usually asked lah. Sorry, it is not this kind of proving is not usually asked. Usually is you refer to this one and you just change over lah, or you manipulate it somehow. But this is like, a very high level form of manipulation. You have to put in something so that you can get what you want. Okay, which is still a valid proving method. It's just not very often lah. People don't do this very often. Okay, sketch the graph of y equals to sine x but modulus. So one cycle is very straightforward lah. Okay, sine x normal one is this, right? Okay, for one cycle. But since it is a modulus, obviously we would want it will be a double this one. So this will be 2 pi. Here pi, maximum value is 1. I guess you can put the pi over 2 and 3 over 2 pi lah. Ini tak ada masalah. Okay, this is y and this is x. Okay, so it's a very straightforward sketch. All you have to remember is just the modular sign. But the second question is where it gets interesting. Okay, hence using the same axis, okay, sketch a straight line that satisfies the equation sine x equals to k, okay, where k is a constant. Okay, so they are already giving you the easiest one in the world. Modulus sine x equals to k, and k is a constant. Constant means it's just a number. There's no x or y involved. Okay, if we substitute y in here, you get y equals to k. What kind of graph is y equals to k? It's a horizontal line. Okay, so y equals to 2, for example, is a horizontal line. So you want, okay, you want a horizontal line, okay, you want a horizontal line that can produce 4 solutions, okay, and you want to state the range of values of k. Okay, so when it comes to cases like this has been asked before in SPM. I think it's a very interesting question lah. Okay, they give you the number of solutions, but they ask you to determine what is the kind of line. So there are a number of possibilities. Maybe you can draw the horizontal line at 1 lah. What if you draw at 1? How many solutions will you get? Oh no, sorry. It's very ugly. Okay. Astaga. Yeah, I need to draw better. Okay. If you do it ngam at 1, you will only get 2 solutions. So it cannot be y equals to 1. Cannot. Definitely cannot. Because you only get 2 solutions. You want 4 solutions. Okay. So let's erase this. What if I draw anything less than 1? For example, here, chiang like this. Okay, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll get 4 solutions. If I draw a little bit higher, chiang like this, I will still get 4 solutions. Okay. If I draw a little bit lower, I don't know why I have to say chiang, but it sounds nice if I say chiang. Chiang, so you get 4 solutions also. But if I draw it ngam at 0, let's say y equals to 0. Okay, let me change it to blue color. How many solutions will we have? We will have only 3 solutions. So we find that any number between 0 and 1 will give you 4 solutions. Any horizontal line between 0 and 1 will give you 4 solutions. That means the number k here must be between 0 and 1. Cannot include 0, cannot include 1. Because 1 will only give you 2 solutions. 0 will give you 3 solutions. We want 4 solutions. So anything between 0 and 1 will give you 4 solutions, but 0 and 1 cannot be included. So this sign is very important. Okay, don't go and put this, tak boleh. Tidak akan diterima lah. Okay, because you cannot include 0 and you cannot include 1. Okay, so this is a question that actually tests your understanding of the number of solutions case. Okay, of course, stating the range of values is also another. This question I think came out once or twice in SPM. I remember coming up before, but I know that a lot of trial papers like to ask this question. Okay, but if you're not familiar with this, make sure you're familiar with how to draw the straight line and get the number of solutions. Okay, and of course, please know how to draw the graph of trigonometric functions. Okay, that's the most important one. All right, okay, let's continue. Question number 5, diagram 3 shows a quadrilateral AEFG, okay, and a triangle ABD such that BD and AG intersect at point C. Okay, so you're given AB is 4x, CB is negative half y, GF okay, is 3 over 2y, okay, and EF is 3x. Okay, and the ratio of BC to CD is 2 to 3. Okay, now do you notice something that they're not telling you? Okay, one thing that you have to notice that they're not telling you, although I don't know whether it's relevant now, is that AB and EF is parallel because they are both in the same direction of the vector. And BD is parallel with FG. Yes, they are different directions, but they are still parallel because they're both y vectors. Okay, so they're not telling you this directly. Okay, but you're expected to know what this means. I don't know whether it's going to be relevant, but I don't know whether we're going to even use this information. But I just thought that if you see two vectors, which are the same but on different lines, they are just parallel vectors. Okay, they are telling you, but they're not telling you very explicitly. Okay, they are telling you, like, okay, if you don't know, means you don't know. Okay, expressed in terms of YAC. So AC will probably be AB plus BC lah. Okay, so I'm not going to do this. You can do this yourself. And then AD, okay, AD, well, I guess there are a number of ways to find AD lah. You'll probably have to find AB, or AB got, sorry, BD lah. You have to find BD. Okay, if you have BC, okay, if BC equals to half Y, okay, Okay, remember CB is negative half y, so with the terbalikan BC is half y. So take a look at this. 2 parts is half. So BD is 5 parts bahkan. Okay, so how would we get? Okay, see so BC, sorry, 2 parts, okay, is half. But BD is 5 parts altogether. Okay, so you'll be 5 divided by 2 times half. Okay, to get BD lah. So BD will be 5 over 2 times half of y. Okay, we will give you 5 over 4y. Okay, and then you can find this lah, AB plus BD. Okay, so you find that this ratio thing, once you get used to it, it's actually quite easy lah. Okay, kita kasih bagi 2, lepas tu darab dengan yang original di sebelah kanan. Boleh itu. Okay. Question B is also a very standard question. Okay, standard paper 2 question. They ask you to express the same vector and then find the value of, 2 unknowns lah. Usually it's lambda and mu or m and n. Usually it's like that. Okay. Now the question is, given that AG is lambda times of AC. So you're starting from here. AG is lambda AC. And AE is mu AD. Okay, so you want to express AF. Kalau you want to use lambda, means you have to use AG. How do I find AF? Okay, how do I find AF? Which is here. Okay, but I must use AG. Why must I use AG? Because the first question says you want to use lambda, and AG is only connected to lambda. Okay, so this AF will be AG plus GF lah. Okay, this will be AG plus GF. And we know that AG is lambda AC. And you already found AC from here. So you just substitute, and you get it. Okay, and you will get some form like this lah. Kumpulkan semua X sama-sama, kumpulkan semua Y sama-sama. Okay. Then secondly, AF in terms of mu. Mu adalah berkaitan dengan AE. So how do you find AF? Dengan menggunakan AE. So it will be AE plus EF. Okay, AE plus EF. Okay, then you pindah and kumpulkan semua X and kumpulkan semua Y and you will get something like this. Okay, semua ada sebutan mu di dalam. Okay, then the normal question will be, hence find the value of lambda and mu. Okay, so hence find the value of lambda and mu. Remember that, remember that this one, okay, this is AF, this answer, and this is also AF. So since they are the same vector, we can say that the X component is the same and the Y component is the same. Okay, which means that this is the same. I can say that 4 lambda equals to 4 mu plus 3. And I can say that this is also the same. Half lambda plus 3 over 2 equals to 5 over 4 mu. And what do I do with this? I do simultaneous equations. Okay, to get the value of lambda and mu. Do you notice that actually this question is a lot like normal simultaneous equations question that you answer when you were in Form 3. You know, kita selalu biasa, find the value of X and Y. So you have one equation and another equation. This is basically it. You are given 2 equations with 2 unknowns. So you do simultaneous equations in order to find the value of the 2 unknowns. Okay, so which is why one of probably the most important skill, two most important skills that whoever wants to take admits must have when you go into Form 4. Kamu mau habis sudah baru saya mau cakap is you must know how to do simultaneous equations. Like no need to think that you can do it. And then of course secondly is you must know how to factorize. Okay, factorizing, basic factorizing. Okay, it's very, very important. Oh well, anyway, itu adalah nasihat kepada adik-adik anda lah, okay? Kalau ada yang mau ambil advanced. Tapi bagi kamu, I hope that you have this skill lah. Okay, given the first derivative, pembezaan peringkat pertama, means you differentiate one time already. The first derivative of this one is this one. Okay, so what they are not telling you is they are not giving you the equation. They are asking you to figure it out yourself. So what it is saying is actually y equals to 3x, x squared plus 5, 4. And then you dy dx is this one. This is the dy dx. Selepas dia, this one. So how do you find the value of h? You will need to dy dx this yourself and then compare it with this answer. Okay. Now this is a very complicated dy dx. It uses the u and v thing. Okay. Y equals to 3x and then x squared plus 5 to the power of 4. So we separate this. I don't know whether you remember this lah. Okay, so you separate this 3x, then the derivation will become x. This one is x squared plus 5 to the power of 4. Then the derivation is yada yada yada. The derivation of this, okay, is 4x squared plus 5, and then this is 2x lah. Okay, this one actually not really in the syllabus, but fine. Okay, then after that you cross multiply in the UV formula. Okay, so at this stage, maybe some of you are asking, what is the UV formula? Let's see whether they have it in the formula page. I may not have though. Yeah, I don't think they will give us. That is not really a formula, it's just a guide. Okay, so if you're planning to do this question, if you're planning to answer this question, go and see how to do the y equals to UV linear derivation. Okay, so y equals to uv, so dy dx will be u dv dx plus v du dx, this one. Okay, so this one times this one plus this one times this one. Okay, and then after that, when you get the final answer, you compare it with this, you should get h equals to 9. Okay, the 3-mark question, which is a little bit much lah. A little bit much lah. Okay, I feel that. No, and then plus on top of that, I don't think this is in your syllabus. I don't think so. Okay. All right, diagram 4 shows an inverted cone with a base diameter of 12 cm and a height of 18 cm. Okay, given the height of the cone is h and the radius is r. Height of the water in the cone, not height of the cone. So the water leaks out through a small hole at the tip of the cone, which is here. Okay, so there's a hole over here. Then the question is, calculate the small changes in the height of the water when the volume decreases from 8 pi to 7.5 pi cm cube. Okay, so we have to be very careful about this question now. Okay, the question is talking about height and volume. That means when you're differentiating, it has to be something to do with the height and the volume, dVdh. Okay, and this is a small changes question. Small changes in the height of the water. So that means you want del h, dh dv times del v. Okay, because if according to the formula, is del y equals to dy dx times del y lah. Okay, small changes. So this question is very layered lah. There are many things. First, you have to figure out what is dVdh. Then you have to terbalikan and get dH dV. Then you have to find del V. Okay, but the good news is del V has already been given to you, which is negative 0.5 pi. Okay, it's already given over here lah. Okay, the volume decreases from 8 pi to 7.5 pi. So decrease means the value is negative lah. Okay, so negative 0.5 pi. Okay, but now the problem is, how do we find this dH dV or dV dH? Okay, let's go back to the original, this one lah. The original formula for volume, okay, is volume equals to 1 over 3 pi r squared h. Okay, but the problem with this, okay, is that there is an r there. We want to find dV dH, tapi kita mesti hilangkan itu r. The r has to be gone lah. Yeah, the r has to be gone. Okay, so how do we make the r go? We have to replace it with something to do with h. Okay, so how do we do this? Is we look at the original r and the original h. Okay, the original r is 6. Diameter is 12, so the radius is 12. The radius is 6. And the h is 18. So I can actually say that r is equals to 1 over 3 h based on this information. The radius is always 1 over 3 h. And I use this to substitute inside the r over here. So I will get 1 over 3 pi, 1 over 3 h, the whole thing squared h. Okay, and this will give me 1 over 27 pi h cubed. V equals to 1 over 27, sorry, 27 is 27. 27 pi h cubed. Then you can find dV/dH. So that's why you cannot find dV/dH here because there's an r that is mengganggu. Okay, it's a common differentiation problem lah. Okay, so when you find dV/dH, you will get 1 over 9 pi h squared. I think so, 1 over 9, yeah, 1 over 9 pi h squared. The other thing is, this is the original volume, which is 8 pi. So we can actually find the value of h lah. Okay, so when V equals to 8 pi, h, okay, you can substitute it in here. Sorry, in here. Just the h alone. Okay, so 8 pi equals to 1 over 27 pi h cubed. Okay, pindah, 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 pindah. You will get the value of h equals to 6, which is here lah. Okay. So once you find out the actual height, then you can find the value of dV/dH, which is 1 over 9 pi 6 squared. Okay, which will give you about 4 pi. Okay, so our value of dV/dH is 4 pi. So yeah, I know. At this point, it's like, what is this so long? The just for 5 questions. Yeah. So you know, if dV/dH is 4 pi, dH/dV will be 1 over 4 pi lah. So this will be 1 over 4 pi times negative 0.5 pi. Okay, so the value of the del H okay, will be about this one lah, negative 0.125. Okay, yeah, I feel that I need to answer this because the working is quite complicated lah. You know, I can't just like, okay, saya tunjuk lepas tu kau buat sendiri lah. But yes, this is one of those questions where, you know, if you are not comfortable doing differentiation questions, you may want to avoid this lah. You know, focus on other questions lah. It's just that in this paper, this is a compulsory question, so you kind of like have no choice. You have to answer this lah. Okay, but generally, I mean, in my experience, a lot of students try to avoid this question because dia punya langkah kerja sangat rumit. You know, there's first you have to find the volume, and after that you have to change the R so that it's only H. And after that you put in something, you differentiate, then you have to find the original height to substitute the dV/dH. And then after and then on top of that, they're not asking you to find this one, they're asking for the small change somehow, you know. So yeah, this is a particularly, I wouldn't say difficult, but it is a challenging question because the steps are so many and so layered. Dia macam bawang bah, many lapis. By the time kamu kupas kan, dia macam kamu potong bawang lah, terus kamu menangis sudah. So kau tidak mampu sudah untuk bertahan dan mengupas itu bawang lah. Okay, but yeah lah, it's a tough question lah. I would definitely say it's a tough question. Okay, let's do one more. Finish up section A before we go for a short break now. Okay. Okay, sum to infinity of a geometric progression is 6. So this is giving you S infinity equals to 6. S infinity formula, I don't think is given in the formula list, but we can check just to make sure. This formula list is not like physics one. Physics one can change one, no? But the formula list for admits is kekal selamanya beginilah. Ya. Tiada S infinity. Okay, so you have everything except for S infinity. So you need to remember the S infinity formula, okay, which is S infinity equals to A over 1 minus R. Okay, so it's telling you A over 1 minus R equals to 6. Sum of the first two terms is 5, 1 over 3. Now this is a geometric progression. So the first two terms is S2 lah, equals to 5, 1 over 3. Okay, so the formula for S is A1 minus R squared over 1 minus R equals to 5, 1 over 3. So first equation, second equation, oh sorry, okay, do the simultaneous equations and find the ratio. Okay, now since the question said that there are possible common ratios, the answer I gave is 1 over 3 and negative 1 over 3, which means that you're going to get a quadratic equation. Somewhere along the way, you're going to see a quadratic equation and you are going to see, you need to EQN this. Okay, so just be very careful with that. Okay, but this is quite an easy question compared to the one that we just did just now. Okay, the differentiation one. Okay, this is a much easier question to do. Definitely, I would recommend you to try this out. Okay, you should do the number 6 last, really. Okay, you try out the rest first. Once you're confident, then you can do number 6. Okay, B. During the outbreak of the flu virus in town, A, approximately the rate of infection increases daily by 15%. Okay, increases daily by 15% from the previous day. So given that on the 1st of July, the number of cases is 30. So every day dia akan naik 15%. It's like, this is not a very good question for our season now. So first day is 30. So the next day is you add 15% to that. Okay, so how do you add 15%? You find the 15%, okay, times 30 is 4.5. So it is 34.5. Okay, sorry. Okay, and then you can go on, so on and so forth. But the idea is that the A is 30 and the R is 1.15. 34.5 divided by 30. Or if you understand percentages, 15 increase means 1.15. Okay, I have no time to go into that. But estimate the total cases for the month of July. What they're asking you is, be smart everyone, July got how many days? Bulan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 days in July. So you're looking for S31. Jangan juga kamu S30. Okay, S31 is 15028 or 15029, depending on how you count the R. Okay, 1 month 15,000 cases is not too bad kan, compared to our one now, Malaysia. Oh, tapi this is just in one town. Yeah, okay, that's quite bad. Okay, 2. Starting on the 1st of August, preventive measures have been taken by the local authority to deal with the outbreaks. So given the new cases, number of new cases in 1st and 31st is 2284 and 45464. Okay, determine the estimated infection rate from the duration from 1st August to 31st of August. Okay, so do the preventive measures give positive effect, give a justification. Okay, how do you determine the estimated infection rate? We look at this one. Okay, originally our infection rate is 15% or 1.15. So that's for July. And now we want to see, in August, what is the infection rate like? So the first day is 2.284. Okay, A is now, 2,284 is on the first day. Our R, we don't know lah, R yang kita mau cari lah. But we know that on the 31st day is 45464 only, not total number of cases. Only on the 31st of August, okay, it's 45464. So that means that this is T31. Okay, so T31 is equals to 45464. The formula for Tn is ARN minus 1 equals to 45464. Let me substitute the A and the N. Okay, my A is 2284. My N is 31 minus 1, or R to the power of 30. Okay, so 2284 R to the power of 30 equals to 45464. Okay, use log to find the value of R. Okay, you will get the answer R equals to 1.105, which means that it is less than 1.15. Okay. Less by a bit only lah, but it's still less. That means the preventive measures are giving a positive effect. Sebab walaupun nilainya meningkat, tetapi kadarnya berkurang. The rate of infection is getting less, and that is a good thing. So, section B, 4 questions. Remember, answer 3 only. But, yeah, 4 questions in section B, and then we'll look at the 2 questions in section C, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so in a survey conducted in the school, it is found that one out of the 3 students is selected to attend an intervention class. So 1 out of 3 is this one, and most likely it's P lah. Okay, and if you know P, then you definitely know Q is 2 out of 3 that is not selected to enter in an intervention class. So if N students are randomly selected, so you notice that now they're not giving you the N number. Okay, they're not giving you the N number, and you're supposed the percentage that exactly. Okay, so when you see percentage, okay, you kind of need to know that. Okay, change it to probability, or when you get the probability, you change it to times 100 to get the percentage lah. So the percentage that a student is not selected, okay, to the intervention class is equal to 10 times the percentage of all the students. That means not selected means 0. So P0 is equals to 10 times of P all. All means N lah. Okay, so we don't know what is it. So percentage probability, same thing. Okay, so we know the R on one side, we don't know R on the other side, but we know that all, okay, all students means N, because if N students are randomly selected, all students may N students. No? So this will be NC0, P is 1 over 3 power of 0, 2 over 3 power of N equals to 10 times NCN, okay, 1 over 3 to the power of N and 2 over 3 to the power of 0. Okay, now I have spoken about this quite a number of times, so I'm not going to waste time. And I also have spoken about this quite a number of times. Okay, so I'm not going to waste time by telling you what it is. Okay, but you can figure this out. Okay, go all the way. You probably have to use log. Okay, actually, you may not need to use log. Yeah, actually, you don't have to use log, but if you use log, also doesn't matter. You will get the answer and equals to 5. I think it's a very straightforward question. Okay. All right. Cross-country competition with a participation of 100 runners was held by MRSM. Why? Okay, the time taken for each runner is normally distributed, and they give you a mean of this one and the variance of 225 minutes. Now, remember, if they give you variance, immediately change it to standard deviation, which is just the square root of 225. Okay, square root of 225 will give you 15. This is the one that we want to use for the Z formula. Z equals to X minus mu over sigma. We don't want the 225. Okay, a number of you made this mistake during the trial exam and terus semua ni. So the runners who managed to complete the race within 40 minutes were awarded with medals. So find the probability of choosing a runner who did not get a medal. So you want the probability of X is more than 40. Okay, I'm going to stop here and you can figure this out lah. Okay, probability of X is more than 40. So the same step. Change to Z, lorate tempat yang betul, use the table to find the probability. Okay, question number 2. The organizer rewarded cash money to the first 10 runners that completed the run. Now, if Kamal finished the race in 25 minutes, did he qualify? Okay, so the first 10 runners, we need to find out these 10 runners is what is their time lah. Oh, 100 runners. Okay, so first 10 runners means that the probability is 0.1. And the probability has to be 0.1. So P X is less than this time is 0.1. This is where you want to start. Okay, this is where you want to start. So this is the terbalik one. Okay, you want to find the probability is 0.1 because 10 out of 100 runners. Okay, 10 out of 100 runners finished it, will get the prize lah. So the probability of you getting a prize will be 0.1, 10 out of 100. But we don't know the timing for this 10 runners. So we want to find the timing using this normal distribution. Okay, so this is the probability. Okay, so work your way backwards to find the t value or the x value, which is 25.77. Okay, so 25.77 means that Kamal is one of the 10 this one because it has to be less than, he has to finish the race less than 25.77 minutes in order for him to qualify for the reward. Okay, dia layak menerima kalau dia punya masa kurang daripada 25.77 minit. Dan soalan menyatakan dia habis dalam masa 25 minutes. So can lah. Okay, totally no problem. Okay, he will be able to get the prize. So the answer be yes. So again, just to remind you, when it comes to normal distribution questions, we kind of expect that there will always be one question. They give you the x value, find the probability. And then the next one is they give you the probability, find the x value. Usually that's the case. Of course, once in a while you get, very complicated questions that will only ask one, but dia punya ayat panjang lebar sampai apa-apalah. Okay, so we will also talk about that another time. Okay, question 9. Question 9 is a linear log graph. Linear log graph, I think there's nothing really much to this. You should be able to get a graph. Let me see. Oh, they don't have the graph over here. Okay, you should be able to get the graph where okay, you should be able to get this kind of graph where this one is about 0.43. Yes, okay, it's about 0.43. So this is log 10p against t. Hold on now, let me just check. -5, sorry. Against p, yeah, okay, yeah, you should get a linearly increasing graph. And the y-intercept is about 0.43 lah. Okay, so once you get that, then you can find the value. But the thing is, question B lah, okay, it is found out that one of the values of P has been wrongly recorded. Okay, from the graph in 9A, determine the correct value of P. So these kind of questions pernah kena tanya ni. Okay, so let's say kamu plot bahkan, you will find that there is one titik that is so out of this world yang macam menyebabkan kamu terus like kencang lah, because you're like, oh no, what's happening? Okay, so when you draw the graph, okay, you 0.43, most of the points will be very near to the line one. Okay, for example, like this. Okay, but the point that is wrongly recorded, okay, kamu sudah kira dengan betul, kamu sudah plot dengan betul kan? The point that is wrongly recorded, for example, Okay, let's say it's here lah. This very obviously is wrong, the wrongly recorded. Okay, so how do you find the right one? Kamu turunkannya kepada di sini dan baca dia punya value. Okay, read the value because we want P, right? So you find this value and then you shift log. Okay, you shift log to find the value of P. Okay, because that's what the question wants. Find the value of P. And P, you have to log it, sebab dia sudah bagi log 10P. Okay, so when you get the value, okay, you will have to shift log it to find the value of P. And it's very obvious that it's wrongly recorded because the titik is so far out. Ya macam kalau kamu best muka tidak boleh best pakai itu, so dia sangat jauh. Okay, it will not be this or this lah because it's too near to the line. The wrongly recorded one, in my experience lah, okay, when I see questions, the wrongly recorded one is always very far away one. Very obviously far away. So you don't have to worry about astaga, ini kah yang salah. That's too near already lah. Okay, then the rest of the values you can find from here. I've given the range over here 7.079 to 7.413 and R is 1.116 to 1.118. Okay, lebih kurang those values lah. Okay, this is quite a good question. Okay, a little bit tough because banyak mukadimah di permulaan. Okay, but the equation is here lah. Okay, P squared equals to QRT, and because the graph is a log graph, kamu tahu lah that you need to use log law, okay, to find the equation of the straight line. Okay. All right. Scale drawings are accepted. So diagram 5 shows a quadrilateral ABCD such that A negative 9, 9, D is 1 and 9. Okay, and point M negative 5 and 3 is the midpoint of AC. So many things to talk about. Okay, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AC. Okay, so the perpendicular bisector of AC is this. Okay, sorry, saya lukis di sini dia bersentuh dengan D bahkan, but it may not necessarily be lah. Okay, so how do you find this one? First of all, you find the gradient of AC. Okay, use A and M to find the gradient of AC. Okay, and then use M1, M2 equals to -1 to find the gradient of the perpendicular bisector. Okay, then after that, once you found the gradient, just like every time now, how do we find the equation of straight line? You must have gradient, you must have point. Okay, we can use the same point, -5 and 3. So use -5 and 3 and the gradient, okay, to form the equation. Okay, y equals to mx plus c, atau kalau kamu pakai y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. Either way also, you will get the same answer lah. But the idea is this, you must, whenever you want to form an equation, you must have a point and you must have the gradient of that line. Okay, jangan juga kamu guna koordinat A. For what? A tidak terletak pada perpendicular bisector. Okay. Then after that, find the area of quadrilateral ABCD. So the area of the quadrilateral is the formula lah, the 1/2. Then yang begini, lepas tu darab begini, bahkan. Okay. Except that, I need to tell you that you need to find the coordinate of C. Okay, so the coordinate of C is -1 and -3. You can find it yourself. M is the midpoint. Okay, M is the midpoint of AC. So you can use the midpoint formula -99 and -53 to find the value of C, which is -1 and -3. Okay, then you use that to find the area. You get the area, value of the area is 86. Ini barulah berbaloi 4 markah. Like it's okay. This is 4 marks question because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of marks. Bukan yang macam tadi yang 1 markah tu sampai tu kita faham lah. Course rule punya panjang tu 1 marks. Okay, the circle Z represents the locus of a moving point P that moves such that its distance from point A is always constant. Okay, point D lies on the circle Z. So you need to find the distance of Z, but D is on the circle. So that means what you need to do is find the distance. Okay, AD. Sorry, I don't know why I tulis PA. It should be AD. Okay, find the distance of AD. Okay, and then after that, use that distance. Okay, use the distance and the coordinate. Okay, coordinate of A to find the locus. Okay, equation of locus always has to do with the distance formula. Distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, square root equals to, in our case over here, it will be equals to 10 lah. Lepas kamu cari distance of AD, you get the AD equals to 10. Then you use the distance and the coordinate of A. Coordinate of A is -9 and 9. So x minus -9 x minus -9. X minus -9 squared plus y minus 9 squared. Square root equals to 10. Okay, and you solve, and you will get this answer. X squared plus y squared plus 18x minus 18y 62 equals to 0. Okay. I would say that this question, there's nothing really special about this question. There's nothing particularly like, wow, complicated about this question. It's a very standard coordinate geometry question that, if you keep practicing, you should be able to answer this. Remember the steps, how to find equation, how to find equation of straight line, how to find the area of a quadrilateral or triangle. This formula, the one yang turun dan naik tu. And then of course, how to find the equation of the locus. Okay, I think that one is a very important skill. Okay, that we think that this question may come out in section B lah, because banyak yang boleh ditanya, but it can also come out in section A. Okay, all right. The last question in section B. Diagram 6 shows the curve of y equals to x squared plus 3, and the gradient of the tangent to the curve at point P is 6. The gradient of the tangent is dy dx equals to 6. Okay, at this point. Okay, but we don't know what is this point. Okay, dy dx. So first of all, calculate the area of the shaded region. Okay, now the area of the shaded region, if you notice, okay, is actually the curve. We have to find this lah. Okay, we have to find the coordinate. Okay, where it intersects. Yes, where it intersects. Okay, so how do we find this coordinate? How do we find this x coordinate over here? We have to dy dx. So dy dx will give us 2x. Okay, and we know that the gradient is 6. So we can find the x value. X equals to, so you get x equals to 3. So here is 3. So you want so under the graph, okay, which is all this, okay, this is the graph, all this minus the triangle will give you the area of the shaded region. Okay, so I've done the liberty of showing you the triangle. How much is the triangle? Okay, triangle is 12 lah, and the integration will be from 0 to 3. Okay, the integration from 0 to 3 of x squared plus 3 will give you the value of 18. Okay, so once you do that, then you minus, and then you will get the answer 6. Sorry, is the answer 6? Yeah, the answer is 6. Okay, so this is a very like long question. Actually, it's not very long, but it's 7 marks. So I look at it now, wow, really? So many marks allocated for the working yang tidak sampai satu dunia lah. Not like the differentiation question just now, 6 marks only. Sorry, 5 marks only. But the working is sampai sampai mau muntah. Okay, but this one is relatively much easier. All you have to do is find the area under the graph, minus with the triangle, and you're done. Okay. Yeah, of course, you have to find the coordinate of x. That's where the other extra mark is. Okay. Now, the volume of revolution, where the region bounded by the curve, the straight line y equals to 12. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this off just to let us see. And I don't want to make the same mistake that I did the last time. Okay, so y equals to 12 is a horizontal line. Okay, so the curve, the straight line y, and the y-axis is result about the y-axis. About the y-axis means it's dy. So volume of revolutions will be x squared dy. Okay, pi x squared dy. But now the thing is, we want to know what is the two boundaries. We want to know what's the upper boundary and the lower boundary. Limit, sorry, not boundary, limit. Okay, so the curve is over here. So we can find this value. This value will give us 3. Okay, it's x squared plus 3. So we know that the bottom limit is 3. But what is the top limit? The top limit is given already. Y equals to 12. Somewhere up here, okay, is 12. So this is the region that we want to pushing. Okay, so we want to find the volume of the mangkok. Essentially, it's a mangkok. So 3 to 12 of x squared dy. And the good news is you already have x squared. X squared is y minus 3. So integration from 3 to 12 of y minus 3 dy. This is a very easy integration. Okay, so when you do, make sure you leave the pi there, and you should be able to get 40.5 pi. Okay, 40.5 pi. Okay, last 2 questions, and then we'll call it a night. I don't feel that the index number question is any very challenging. Okay, so I may not discuss it in depth lah. Okay, cuma saya membagi tahu bahawa this will be the weightage lah, definitely the weightage. Okay, so model B is 5,550. Find this one in 2019. The price index is 105. I think you can find it lah. Sorry, this is RM. RM 5828. Yeah. Okay, it'll be quite easy to do. Model C is yada yada. 2017 and 2019 is given, but this is the price index of the model. Find the value of P. Okay, you should be able to find the value of P from there lah. Okay, I don't think it's very difficult. Describe the changes. Okay, describe the changes. Now, this is a 1-mark question. So describe the changes in the selling price. So what does this, it's asking you, what does the 122 mean? It means that the selling price has increased. Okay, selling price has increased from 2017 to 2019. Sorry, by 22%. Okay, so whenever you are asked to describe an index number, okay, number 1, mention whether it is increase or decrease. Number 2, tell me the year. Okay, from what year to what year. And then of course, number 3, increase or decrease by how many percent. Okay, very important. So again, bringing us back to the concept of of index number. If the price index is higher than 100, it is an increase. So for example, if the price index is 112, means it is increased 12%. But if the price index is, let's say, for example, 96, this has decreased by how many percent? By 4%. Because dia punya rujukan adalah sentiasa 100. Beza daripada 100% is what the index number is all about. Okay. So saya dapat ini 12 bukan sebab saya ambil ni nombor belakang tau. Okay. It's not that, it's just how different it is from 100%. That's how you calculate the increase or the decrease of the selling price. In this case, it's selling price. Okay, so remember, 3 things you need to write when you're talking about describing the change. Okay, of the this one. All right. Question C. Given the price of model is this one, find the value of R. I think it's quite easily found. Okay, and then after that, if the composite index, so you're going to use the composite index to find the value of Q, which is over here. Okay, these are all pretty standard questions. Use the composite index formula, okay, to find this answer. Okay, and you get the answer 3. Okay, I don't think it's a very complicated question. Okay, so let's move on to the last one. Okay. Given that PRS is an obtuse angle, now why this is important? Okay, if PRS is an obtuse angle, means that if you're using sine rule, okay, if you're using the sine rule, okay, the angle must minus 180. Okay, 180 minus the angle. Okay, because when you shift sine on the calculator, you're only going to get an acute angle. So the question is already given you a very, very big clue. Okay, that, and of course, obtuse and acute angle, kita biasanya cakap pasal sine rule sahajalah, cos rule tidak pakai itu. Okay, hanya sine rule. Now, if the straight line PR, sorry, this one, use, sorry, how to find PRS? PRS over here, okay, use the sine rule. Yes, you can use the sine rule. Okay, if the straight line PR is extended to point M such that angle of RPS equals to angle of MPS and RS equals to MS. Okay, so RS equals to MS and your extended okay. RPS equals to MPS. Okay, so what it is telling you is that this one is extended and this one are the same same angle, same length. Okay, 8.599. Okay, I'm going to put the M over here. Find the value of PM. I'll find the length of PM. Okay, so you know that this is 8.599. No problem, you want to find this value. Okay, and you can find this value by a number of ways. You can use sine rule, you can use cos rule also can. Okay, not a problem at all. Okay, so this is very easily done. Okay, then after that, find the angle of PRQ. Okay, PRQ. You will already have this length at this point, so you can find this angle by using cos rule. Okay, you can use cos rule to find the angle of PRQ, and you get 122.79. And finally, find the pentagon PQRMS. Okay, now if you look at this pentagon, it is actually 3 triangles. Okay, it is actually 3 triangles. So you want to have, hold on, hold on. PQRMS. Yeah, okay, it is actually 3 triangles. This is triangle number 1, this is triangle number 2, and this is triangle number 3. Okay, like they got nothing better to do than to ask you to find the area. But yeah, okay, find the area of each triangle, plus all together, and you should be able to get the value of 75.31. Okay.